Today, we are diving deep into Alphabet's latest financial results. We're going to decode what's really powering the tech giant's massive growth. And yeah, the numbers are huge, but the story behind them? Well, it's all about artificial intelligence, and that story is even bigger. Okay, let's get into it.
And hey, you don't have to take my word for it. The CEO himself, Sundar Pichai, called it a standout quarter, pointing to strong growth pretty much everywhere. And honestly, when you see the numbers, you'll totally get why.
So, for the second quarter of 2025, Alphabet brought in $96.4 billion in revenue. That's a 14% jump from last year. You could just feel the momentum there. But you know, as impressive as that number is, the real story is how much of that is pure profit.
We're talking $28.2 billion in net income just for the quarter. I mean, that kind of profitability is exactly what lets a company like Alphabet make these huge long-term bets that are now really starting to pay off. And the biggest bet of them all, you guessed it, AI.
So, that's the what. Now let's get to the why. Because really, the theme that's just pulsing through all these results is that AI has become this roaring engine right at the heart of Alphabet's business. From search to cloud to YouTube, it's everywhere. Pichai makes it crystal clear here. AI isn't some little side project happening in a lab somewhere. He's saying it's hitting every single part of the business and that it's the main reason for their momentum. So what does that AI impact actually look like when you're operating at this kind of scale?
Okay, get ready for this number. Every single month, across all its services, Google processes over 980 trillion tokens. Now, tokens are basically the building blocks of language for AI models. So this number, it just gives you a sense of the absolutely mind-bending scale of their AI operations. It's an unbelievable fire hose of data and computation.
So how do they manage all this? Well, it helps to think about it in terms of their AI stack. It's basically a three-layer cake. At the bottom, you've got the infrastructure. That's the custom chips, the data centers. In the middle, you have the models themselves, like Gemini. And then right at the top, you have the products, things like Search and Workspace, that bring all that AI power to billions of us. So let's see how this stack actually builds up. You know, how it goes from being this abstract idea into the actual products people use every day. And, more importantly, how it generates all those billions of dollars. All right, here's the core of the business. The whole Google Services segment raked in $75.2 billion this quarter. Search is still the main engine room, right? $54.2 billion right there. But look at the other pieces. They're getting huge. YouTube ads at $9.8 billion, and then subscriptions and devices hitting $11.2 billion. And both of those are getting supercharged by new AI features. But you know, the real AI growth story is in the cloud. Google Cloud revenue just exploded, up 32% in just 1 year, hitting $13.6 billion for the quarter. That kind of acceleration is happening because companies are just flocking to Google to get the tools they need to build their own AI. And check this out. This is a fascinating milestone for YouTube. In the US, Shorts, their answer to TikTok, is now making just as much money per hour of watch time as the traditional ads you see in longer videos. For years, that was the big question mark. Could they make this short-form model work financially? Well, the answer is a definite yes. This growth in the cloud, it's not just numbers on a page. It's powered by huge companies you definitely know. You've got Wayfair using Google's AI to make shopping more personal, Mattel using it to sort through product feedback, and even PayPal using it for everything from security to recommendations. The point is, big, serious brands are betting big on Google's AI. Now, all this incredible growth, all this amazing innovation, it doesn't come cheap. Not at all. Building at the very edge of AI requires a level of investment in the real, physical world that's, well, it's almost hard to imagine. Which of course brings us to the question that all the analysts and investors are watching like a hawk. With all this success, what's the actual price tag for trying to lead the AI race?
The answer for 2025 is $85 billion. That's Alphabet's brand new updated plan for capital expenditures for the year. It's a massive jump from what they thought before. This is, quite literally, the cost of building the future.
And just so we're all on the same page, capital expenditures, or CapEx, what is that? It's the money they spend on actual physical stuff. We're
We're talking about building gigantic data centers and then packing them full of hundreds of thousands of powerful servers and custom AI chips. It's the real-world engine room of the AI revolution.
So, you spend all that money, you make this $85 billion bet. Where is it all going? What's the next frontier they're trying to unlock? Well, the answer came up over and over again on their earnings call. Agentic experiences.
You are going to be hearing this term a lot more, I promise. So what exactly are agentic experiences? At its heart, it's a huge shift. We're moving away from just asking an AI a question to giving it a goal and letting it figure out how to get there.
Think of it this way. An agentic AI is a system that can understand a really complex goal, like plan my family's summer vacation. And then it can break that down into a bunch of smaller tasks and then actually do them on its own, talking to different apps and websites to get the job done. It's less like a search engine and more like a digital assistant that can actually do things for you.
And this isn't some far-off science fiction idea. We actually have a timeline for when this might hit the mainstream. Pichai himself said on the call that he expects 2026 to be the year we all start using these agentic experiences more broadly. I mean, that's just around the corner.
And this really brings us to the final critical question. Will these super powerful AI agents that can act for us end up democratizing the web the way search did by helping us find millions of small players? Or will they lead to even more concentration as they learn to deal with just a handful of dominant AI-friendly services? That right there, that is the multi-trillion-dollar question that is going to define the next decade of the internet.